Hi, I'm Austin Coleman, and I'm here today with Wes Hughes, and we're talking about Ministry Action Contacts. Wes, what exactly is a MAC?
Simply put, a MAC is a person reflecting or remembering a specific ministry action event, and then being willing to reflect on that by writing it out, and then third, receiving coaching on that experience. And trying to really coach a person on three things: what's happening with their head, their heart, and their hands. So trying to align the right orthodoxy, what am I thinking in this specific situation, to orthopraxy, what did I do that reflected Jesus in this instance, and orthopathy, how did I have the right emotions or a right effect in this coaching or this conversation with this.
So how exactly does a MAC work, practically speaking?
Yeah, great question. So MAC involves three people. You have a coach, a coachee, and an observer. So a coachee is the person who's presenting the MAC for the very first time. And usually we ask that the person who's being coached to write out their MAC. It's a great way to reflect. And so they bring a written copy of their MAC to their triad. And then the coach just walks them through a series of coaching questions to help them discover a little bit about what they need, what they should have learned, or reflecting about their experience. And the observer is just taking an opportunity to give feedback to the coach, giving them insight about what they observed about the kind of questions they asked, and giving feedback also to the coachee about their response as well.
Awesome. So why would you say that having a MAC, why is that so important for Gen Senders in the Gen Send process?
It's another great question. I love the story in Luke 10 when Jesus sends out the 70 to go to minister before him. And as they go and encounter what the Father and Son and Spirit's doing, they come back sharing great stories of what they saw the Father and the Son do before them. And Jesus reminds them this in the Scriptures, and this is what it says in Luke chapter 10. It says, Jesus says, "The triumph is in God's authority over you and presence with you, not your authority over circumstances like evil." And then he goes on to say, "The triumph is in what God does for you, not what you do for God." So I think MACs give us a great opportunity to reflect, man, God's at work. God's doing stuff, and he invites me into this situation to be an ambassador for him, to be a representative for him. And so MACs just remind us that God has authority over me. He has authority over the circumstances. But God also is wanting to involve me in this situation. So MACs give us a great opportunity to reflect, so we can increase our learning capacity through the Gen Send experience. So we make sure we're getting a right alignment with our head, our hands, and our heart through the Gen Send experience.
Cool. So we actually have a scenario that some of our Gen Senders went through that we're going to show for the current Gen Senders.
Last week I was in Whole Foods and I sat down after getting my salad and spoke to the woman who was sitting beside me, and we had a conversation. She was Mormon, and we spoke about what she believed in. And when we got done having that conversation, I noticed that there was another woman who had sat down beside me, and she said that she had just gotten here from China, and she had overheard me talking about what I believed in to the woman beside me, and she said she had been battling just religion itself and trying to figure out what she believed, and she had done research on every religion and was narrowed down between two, and Christianity was one of them. And she asked me if I could tell her what it was I really believed and why I believed it.
Cool. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So what are you celebrating about that conversation?
I think definitely just celebrating that God is sovereign in every situation, and that he would divinely just align our lives in that moment to be able to share truth with this woman who's just really searching.
Sweet. What else are you celebrating about that?
I think that she was very eager, and that she would be willing to ask really hard questions, and that the Lord would just provide words during that moment.
So what was challenging about that conversation?
I think probably the fact that I was in an area that I wasn't really familiar with myself, so not really having a good grasp on the city.
So what do you plan on doing with those challenges?
With being long distance now, I'm not able to communicate with her face to face, but we do have the resources of email and resources to be able to share about Christianity, and I just need to stay accountable,
So how can we help you with these challenges? How can we keep you accountable?
I think asking me regularly if I have communicated with her through email or if I had sent her the resources that she asked me to send and answered her questions and gotten back with her because she is so eager and because the Lord put her in right in front of me. I want to make sure that I'm faithful to follow through.
So what I'm hearing from this is a situation where you met someone just randomly and you could have easily just let it go and not talk to her and just went on your way, but you did. And so it's very encouraging to hear that one of your goals is to keep in touch with her, because I see from the beginning that you are making good use of your time. And so we can definitely encourage you in that, to continue to do that as you pursue that relationship with her and hopefully get to share Jesus with her on multiple occasions.
Yeah. Then how can we pray for you?
Just pray that that the Lord would continue to allow us to stay in touch and to build that relationship, and pray that He'd be working in her heart to reveal more of Himself to her and to help me as I continue to stay in touch with her and just, share Christ with her. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Cool. So now you've seen what a MAC looks like. And a few things to remember. Be sure before you have your MAC to write out the details of your ministry experience, to bring that and show it to the MAC team, and then to come in as a coachee, to bring a coach, and to have an observer. And you guys work together to help make your further ministry experiences better and more effective.